Heads up, Hobby Maniacs, MBG here again today with another daily update slash weekly rumor roundup. Now, a lot of stuff happened over the weekend. If you're trying to get to the site, you probably noticed it was down for a couple days because, well, we had a little issue with some hacking spammers, and we got it taken care of. Hopefully, so the new sites or the site's back up and running. Hopefully, we'll have a new template and stuff here in a couple weeks. Regardless, that was already on the books to get taken care of, but. Just some stuff to take care of. It was a little daunting, but we got it taken care of. Thanks for hanging in there with us. It was pretty nuts. It was a hectic couple of days to say the least. But lots of new rumors. Some Necron stuff came out. Some more Harlequin stuff. We started seeing the first images of the White Dwarf. It hasn't completely broken yet. It's Monday morning, so we're not exactly sure. But we've saw what we think is going to be the cover of the new codex. And it's got a Harlequin on it. It looks like a Troop Master. So a lot of stuff coming out. So let's talk about some of it. First of all, the new Dreadnought came out on Friday from Forge World. If you missed that, definitely check it out. It's got some really good rules. 185 points. I think it's pretty much worth it. Worth fielding. If it is allowed in 40K. Right now, it's the experimental thing. I think it is, but we'll let the TOs decide whether they're going to let it in or not. I think it's a good buy. I think for what it does, it's a good price. The Strength 6 missiles that are AP3 that can split fire, and then of course the 4-shot autocannon guns are pretty good. I definitely think it's an auto include, so make sure you pick that up. On the Necron front, as far as rumors go, we've been hearing all sorts of things, but for the most part, they're kind of starting to all line up. Now, of course, the new book will be out this Friday. I think it's January 27th or something. So we will know for sure. We're going to start seeing a ton of leaks throughout the week as people accidentally get theirs or however it works generally. But universal rules. I'm just going to kind of go over some of the highlights for me being a Necron player and some of the stuff that I like or don't like. The big thing that I noticed was the reanimation protocols. It doesn't look like there's any more ever living rule according to this rumor. So it's just the normal reanimation protocols. As far as the Resorb though, supposedly it's only a one use per phase. So you use it once and you pick the phase. You're like, okay, we're in combat now. And that's it. So, but it is a reroll supposedly. So that seems pretty good. The Living Metal special rule ignores shaken results. You still lose the whole point per normal, but it basically gets it will not die on a 6+, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of like an upgrade. We're hearing Tesla can't snap fire. I'm okay with that. I don't think that was a big thing to begin with. But if Tesla stays the same, I think Necrons are going to be right back towards the top in competitive play as far as that goes, because Tesla's a really good mechanic. I mean, who doesn't want to roll 6s, right? But they kind of lost on some of the other stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see if they nerf the Satans or make them a little bit not as over the top. Still keep Tesla in. Still give you all these bonuses and stuff, and kind of stuff working together in a synergistic manner, kind of like what's going on now. Like give things ballistic skill. Nemesaur definitely looks good. He can take warlord traits from different codexes according to this, which seems really good. Not only that, but he does it at the beginning of every turn, which seems really good. His bodyguard, pretty good stats wise too. Weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5 seems pretty solid. And also notice on the charts that you can take an Overlord, which is any one of these named Necron characters, plus the Stormlord. So that's kind of interesting to see how good the Stormlord is going to be, because we really haven't heard, besides just his basic stats, really what it's going to be. There was a leak on the Necron Overlord. Somebody figured out the rules from a preview pick on GW site. It's pretty good for 80 points. I think he's pretty solid. That was the big stuff I saw. Besides the Satan rules, 240 points, definitely confirmed. It was in one of the preview picks on GW site. Eternal Warrior, Flashbang, Gaze of Death, which is basically kind of like that Mind War mechanic. You both roll off on leadership kind of thing. Oh, actually no, it's like Psychic Shriek, so that's even cooler. I didn't notice that until just now. Good thing for reading. The Doom Scythe looks kind of interesting. We're hearing that the points are going to go up on the scythes, but the Doom Scythe supposedly now has a small blast, Strength 10 AP1, which we'd heard that rumor since October. So just kind of reiterating some of these things we're hearing the same thing from different sources, so it's probably going to be true. I think that's going to be interesting as long as the points don't go up. Right now I think it's like 180. It needs to come down in points to be effective and see a lot more play, because we're not seeing it right now. Then there's stuff on the Tesla, the Tesseract Vault. Like I said before, Tesla won't work with Snapfiring. Haven't heard if it's going to stay the same. Would like to see it the same, of course. You know, lots of stuff on the Resorb, Satan powers, and all sorts of things. So we're kind of hearing the same thing from different sources. I'm not going to get into all of it. You can check it out on the forum, forum.spikybits.com. For the full roundup. Also, Tasty Taste over on Blooded Kittens has a really good roundup where he took all of the rumors from all over the place and categorized them. So it's a little bit easier to read. You don't have to do like the time lapse since October. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and Wire over on Blooded Kittens, he also has a great formation tool where if you need to see like, oh, what are the formations for Grey Knights? I need to make an army. It's got this drop down thing, and then you can scroll across and see everything, and it gives you the readout on how it works. It's not the pictures, but he did take the time to type it up, and it's a very useful tool. So definitely make sure you check that out. Harlequins, let's talk about them. We know they're coming out. We know they're coming out next week. We don't exactly know what's coming out. We're hearing there's going to be, you know, a new troop kit. We're hearing a new troop master, shadow seer, death jester, all sorts of stuff. We're hearing that's going to be a standalone codex. We're hearing that, you know, you can take Eldar with it, you can take Dark Eldar with it, which seems to make sense because if they put out, you know, a book that uses stuff from the other codexes and they only put out a few extra models for the codex, it seems like that's a winning arrangement, something that they could port over to maybe Sisters, like, hey, here's a couple Sisters kits, but you can also take Space Marines with them, you can also take Guard with them. You know, that's their preferred ally. I like to call it, you know, Mark Parker coined this, you know, Codex Imperials, because there's so much you can choose from as Imperials goes, and now it seems like Eldar is kind of getting that same kind of treatment, which is interesting, because they're, besides the Wave Serpent being completely over the top, they're not quite as ridiculous as they used to be, but those Wave Serpents are tough nuts to crack, if you know what I mean there. The stuff that stood out to me in the actual Codex Harlequin rumors was, I like the flip belt. The flip belt seems pretty neat. It gives the character, or if it's just a character or it's an independent character, regardless, because apparently the troop comes with it. Remember they all had it from back in the day. They get a 2-up lookout Sir roll, which might be kind of abusive. I mean, we might see kind of like some rise of these Harlequin Death Stars that they can just throw wounds around to each other, depending on what their save is. If it's better than a 4-up, that might be a thing. If it's not better than a 4-up, it might not be a thing. But then again, you can put other models in there, so it really depends on how the actual rules shake up. Also, it lets you ignore cover, and there's no bonus to charging through terrain, which I thought was pretty neat. So it basically makes them dedicated assault troops, in my opinion, but we'll see what their actual rules shake out to be. So then we're also hearing this Star Weaver, some sort of dedicated transport, so they might get their own, you know, standalone kits. We don't know yet, but these are the big rumors that stood out to me as far as that stuff goes, and I think stuff's looking pretty good. You know, it definitely leaves a lot of room for interpretation and things like that, but it's, you know, it's better than no models at all, right? So that's pretty much it for the rumor roundup this show. We'll get back to some other stuff here in a second. Alright, well, I ended up talking about rumors for too long, so this show, I apologize, guys. I want to try to sneak in some hobby stuff in here because that's my jam. I'm all about the hobby. So real quick, I wanted to show you something. I actually got these for Christmas from my roommate. They're called clay shapers. Here, extreme close-up, right? What's cool about these is they're kind of like little brushes, but apparently they're made for working with and carving clay, which you can also use for green stuff. I haven't used them yet, but he says they're really dope, and I believe him because, you know, he's the kind of guy that researches these sort of things. So if he says they're good, they're probably good, so I'm going to say they're good. So check these out. I think he got them off Amazon. They're called Clay Shapers. It's a clay set for shaping wax or polymer clay by West Design. So check these out. They probably don't suck. And then the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, which is the funnest of everything we've talked about today, is a new giveaway. Now, I wasn't able to do the giveaway for the Forge World Imperial Armor book over the weekend because of all the server issues, so I'll probably do that today or tomorrow, and we'll get it all announced and everything. But the one thing I wanted to clue you guys in on first, because, you know, the loyal YouTube crowd, is the next giveaway we're going to do, which is right here. This, if you remember, is the collector set for Warhammer 7th Edition, 40k of course. So what it comes with is all sorts of nifty stuff, but at the very least, the small mini rulebook that has that dope art cover right there. So this thing's pretty awesome. It's the whole set. It's got all the different coins and things like that, and all the art books and all sorts of things. I actually got an extra codex from Games Workshop because mine busted. So I thought, well, hey, why not? Let's just do a big giveaway for this, and you know, throw it up on YouTube and let everybody know about it. So all you got to do to enter, and I'll be posting up about it sometime this week. It's not active yet, but it's just go over to the forum, register, and you make a post on the thread for the particular giveaway. And there's always a theme. Like I think the first one was what's your favorite Star Wars quote, and the last one was what's your favorite Gladiator quote. So you just say the quote, good to go. We'll do something cool this time, but if you got any suggestions on what to quote, definitely leave it in the comments, because I'm always open to doing something new and different, right? So I hope you enjoyed the Studio Daily Update. Sorry we didn't get to too much hobby today, but hopefully you enjoyed the rumors. I get excited about Necrons and Elder, just like most people out there, I assume. So make sure you stay in the trenches, subscribe to this YouTube channel, check out the blog, spikeyvitsblog.com, and listen to our podcast, forgenarrative.com.